What is the highlight of a regular day for you? My cat has a bedtime ritual. When she sees my husband and I head to bed, she runs into the room. When we get in bed, she jumps on there with us and needs a blanket while purring. Then she makes her rounds getting pets and drooling everywhere. Sometimes she will flop on me and purr for a bit. But she only does this ritual when we both go to bed. If he's traveling for work, it's no dice. She's usually very aloof, so the only affection she shows us is at bedtime. Extra cash. I can imagine this seems unpopular to some. But with living expenses in the place that they are right now, I can't even tell you how much relief I feel when I get a bonus. Or sell something for a great price. Or get a job request on my side hustle. I fist pump the air and think now I can get XYZ paid for without worrying about dipping into savings and quat. I enjoy that feeling. When my partner comes home from work, I work from home. When I leave and come home and my dog slowly comes down the stairs and will shyly wait for me to pet him. Every night when we lay in bed, we do what I call daddy cuddles, and it's my partner giving our dog tons of cuddles and love, and I narrate as if I'm communicating on behalf of our pup, LOL. Tickles in bed for my boyfriend. That's what we call it. He caresses me really softly on my skin and it's my favorite thing in the world. More than food, sex or anything else I can think of. He will do it for hours while we're just in bed. He usually watches a movie and I'm passed out next to him. It feels so lovely. It's not sexual, only sometimes when he does it on the booty too much, but just so sweet and affectionate of him. He's the best. They put sour cream in their chili? Fuck yeah, I do. And shredded cheese. And hot sauce. And saltines too. Yes, though. More likely these days to use non-fat Greek yogurt. Not all the time. But sometimes yes. It's delicious. Yes, sour cream and hot sauce in chili is unbelievably good. Sour cream. Shredded sharp cheddar. Cholula hot sauce. Lime salted tortilla chips. Sour cream with shredded cheese. Diced onions. Hot sauce, Texas Pete usually, and Cheez-It crackers. Why are so many men against marriage? This is probably the wrong place to go to ask this question. This subreddit is super biased and filled with really young short-sighted men, which many of them have a hatred towards women. You can tell by the answers they're getting. I'm not against marriage and most of my friends aren't against marriage. I just think it's something that people wait a little bit longer on these days. It probably is harder to find young men really into marriage, but the older you get naturally the more you think about commitment and starting a family and a life and that kind of stuff. Greater than, isn't that what a prenup is for? Wouldn't a prenup just solve that fear? No. The usefulness of prenups are extremely limited. Best used in protecting assets gained before the marriage. Anything gained inside the marriage is still fair game. The problem is mainly when the man makes the income and the woman stays at home. Courts will look at the woman's income potential and attempt to help her maintain the standard of living she's become accustomed to in the marriage. A prenup doesn't stop this. Prenups are often just straight up ignored in divorce. Combine this with the statistic that most divorces are initiated by women. Marriage becomes a huge liability for men who make the money. I'm bi and I'd be more comfortable marrying a man than a woman. For a few reasons. Women initiate divorces at an insanely higher rate than men, and men typically have much more to lose, half of everything, maybe more. He may have to pay alimony. Possible child support, if children are involved, etc. I also don't want a housewife. If I want a clean house and someone to fuck, I can hire a maid and an escort. I want someone who's willing to help with the household income, and I'm the households I grew up in. Most of women sat at home and did the bare minimum. A poll in 2015 and 2018 showed that about 56% of American women wanted to be homemakers. How do you keep up with life? I'm learning. Prioritize. Drop things that are not priority. And delegate. Keep a list. But break down the list very granularly into baby steps and forget about the big picture for a while. Mechanically go through the list every week. Reflect on it. Create new baby steps and keep going. Be very careful when deciding to onboard a new project. Be prepared to say no or drop it if it doesn't give you a full benefits within the effort you can dedicate to it. Hire someone to do your garden and shed. Take the time to throw everything you don't need away. Make that appointment at the garage before the end of the week. Try and make a list of all your tasks that need to be done. Organize them in the order you wish you complete them in, and if there are some items which you can pay someone to complete, take advantage of that. Once your list becomes smaller and you start crossing items off, I believe you will feel more at ease and not so overwhelmed. Best way to tackle so many tasks is to start tackling the tasks. The idea of having to sort so many things is weighing on you more than the actual tasks are. Put aside maybe an hour and clean the shed this weekend. That's one thing done. As soon as you start tackling the list, you'll immediately feel a lot better. You've just got to start. The short cliché answer is discipline. I was in a similar position in the past year. 50 to 60 hour work weeks. New home. Lots of projects. What helped me was discipline. Grinding through work. Catching up on vital chores. Making immediate sacrifices for long-term payout. Make a checklist or set a routine and don't deviate until you're caught up. You can do it. It's tough. But you'll make it. Why are veterans in the U.S. Armed Forces treated so poorly after service? They're not treated any poorer than the average citizen. People like veterans. Generally, the government doesn't look out for them much. We have an office called Veterans Affairs that is supposed to help. But our legislators do not give it the funding it needs. Of course. That's representative of all social spending here. So you've got soldiers who come back. And some of them have mental problems or medical problems. A lot of them don't have a college degree or the skills for a high-paying job. And on top of all that, there's the difficulty of reintegrating into society. Everything is different. We spend more money than anyone on military shit. And almost none of that goes to helping soldiers when they come home. Ridiculous. They receive more benefits than other citizens. Also, there are a lot of veterans. If someone enlists and serves for 4 years, are they now supposed to be set for life? You are probably hearing complaints about the VA hospitals. The thing is, everyone complains about hospitals and doctors and medical treatment. Both people using the VA and people outside of it. The perception is a residual of the Vietnam War due to its unpopularity at the time. This is definitely not true now. Ask any active duty or vet how often they hear, "Thank you for your service." And quat. Also, a lot of homeless claim they are vets as it makes it easier to get people to give them money. If you start to ask them specifics about their service, often they won't answer you. If you take advantage of everything the US military service offers you, it's actually really lucrative. The problem is that a lot of enlisted don't bother to learn how everything works or use it to get a marketable skill.